If the system allows its truth-tellers, 𝗲𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧 to be killed with impunity, but doesn't do anything about corruption and let it thrive, then parang papatanong tayo, ano ba talaga yung pinoprotektahan ng sistema? What is our justice system even protecting? It is protecting the crime, not the victim. They're trying to cover the crimes that the government politicians are making just because they have money. They're being silenced by money.
Pinabaliktad na talaga tayo ng mundo. It's so very,
That's a huge problem. Yeah, it's actually twisted.
They say justice is blind. But in the Philippines, in our country, justice is in fact not blind. Justice is selective. Justice looks at your wallet, your last name, and your connections. And if you don't have any of those, then you're invisible. Katarungan or justice. They teach us that it's an absolute, a principle carved in stone. They show us the symbol, a woman, eyes covered by a blindfold, holding a scale. The message here is clear. Impartiality. The law knows no one, no position, no peso. But what if that blindfold is not a symbol of impartiality, but a piece of fabric woven from national hypocrisy? What if Lady Justice in the Philippines is simply peeking through the holes to check who stands before her? She doesn't care about the charge, she cares about the checks.
She's not blind, Alexa. She's simply selective. Here, the scale is rigged. It doesn't weigh evidence, it weighs influence.
And I think it's a mirror reflecting only the powerful. If you are rich, your innocence and is preordered. If you are poor, your guilt is the default setting. The powerful get due process. The powerless get process due.
And if you don't have a last name that echoes in the halls of Congress, if you don't have the connection to call a judge or hire an army of lawyers, you are not just disadvantaged, you are invisible. You are a ghost in the system built to serve the living elite.
Welcome to Justice for Sale, the cause of truth in a crooked system, where we uncover real cases, real victims, and real corruption. The kind that thrives because accountability is optional and the truth is dangerous.
For the next 40 minutes, we are not going to skirt the issue. We are going to strip off the blindfold and expose the dark reality of a justice system that is quite literally one of the most efficient mechanisms in the world for protecting the corrupt.
My name is 𝗤𝗏𝗬𝗚, and I'm bringing the legal lens to our conversation. We're going to dissect the legal loopholes that become million peso escape routes for politicians.
I'm Desiree, and I am bringing the unwavering voice of accountability. We will confront the culture of impurity that makes truth-telling a death sentence.
And I am Ella, here to ensure we never forgot the human cost, the massa who are crushed beneath the weight of the systematic cruelty.
And this is Alexa, your host. We chose to record this episode, this essential indictment of our system, on November 15, 2025, right here in 𝗂𝗳𝗓𝗃 City. We are far from the national capital, but the rot is felt everywhere. From the biggest scandals in Congress to the most heartbreaking petty crimes in barangays. The gravity of this issue demands a brave voice from the front lines. Tonight, we will chart the flow of power and money. We will trace the billions that vanished in the pockets of congressmen. Like the staggering case of 𝗤𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏, who allegedly pocketed 21 billion in ghost projects. we will contrast that with the cruel, instant humiliation of a lolo who only stole a pack of mango just to survive. And we will confront the dangerous reality that for some, like Estrada and Arroyo, a jail cell is merely a revolving door, while for journalists, speaking the truth can earn them a bullet.
Prepare for meaty, informative, and striking conversation. We are not just discussing injustice, we are documenting the price of power. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so our first segment is titled Corruption in the System, When Money Writes the Truth. This is where we show you how the law is literally bought, sold, and tagged depending on who is signing the check. The scale of financial corruption we've seen recently is not just disheartening. It's a direct declaration of war on the poor. Alright, so let's start with the loudest noise in the current political landscape, the 𝗟𝗪𝗪 controversy. The sitting congressman allegedly caught in a whirlwind of ghost projects and questionable distribution of public funds. Ella, may you tell us some details regarding this controversy?
Yeah, the strategy is an underestimate, Alexa, no? We heard the man himself, 𝗟𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗜, release a 5-minute video statement and unforced television confession, claiming he facilitated about the 100 billion pesos worth of inserted projects into the 2025 national budget. 100 billion! Think of that number, 100 billion pesos. Pinasa through the back doors? Like,
That's actually a huge amount. So is 𝗟𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗜 saying that it's an order from someone,
yeah,
or and that he facilitated the disbursement of the 100 billion funds?
oh yeah. Actually, he also stated in his video now, what the president wants, he gets. So, I mean, like, it's very obvious, I think, from that,
Yeah.
na who facilitated.
But what do you guys think? Is he just passing the blame or pointing fingers to someone? Or is he owning to... I feel like he didn't own his actions or his mistakes.
Yeah.
Because I believe he really is involved.
Yeah.
But
Both.
yeah, from what's happening right now, I feel like they're just pointing fingers for the media to have someone
Now,
to
I
blame.
think it's playing safe.
Yeah.
It's not kind of he's playing safe, but he's pointing someone, pointing fingers to someone. Especially, he just mentioned the president and the secretary Romandes, and he didn't even mention his own mistake, his own wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? Us Filipino are so confused about this thing because we don't know what's really or the truth, no? Even if we search, we don't know because they are pointing their fingers to someone. No, they can put anyone. We just don't know what's the truth.
Yeah, we would never really know the real story behind this because they're the only ones that knows what they did.
Yeah. But we just want clarification, but from them. But then again, they have the power to change everything,
Exactly.
They can even silence the media.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? He doesn't look sincere at all. He was reading a script.
Yeah, that's reading a script.
Scripted.
Kind of reminds me of Kim So-yoon's apology statement.
Yeah,
Apology. When
He
he
even cried for that.
Yeah.
Look at his eyes.
He wouldn't be the best. He wouldn't have the best actor award if he doesn't know how to cry that easily, diba?
Yeah, exactly.
Feeling ko ginawa lang yun ng lawyer ba?
Oh yeah, the lawyer made him do it.
If you are very sincere with your speech, you don't say it in front of people,
go scream it out.
camera and mic in your face, but reading.
𝗟𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗜 would definitely do it too.
If he truly say he doesn't, then why?
Yeah.
It's like telling stories instead of like confessing.
If you can distinguish his facts from what is the truth,
Yeah.
what does he think is someone that really is accountable, then he can actually speak in front of the camera without reading a script. Why would he need that?
But here is a critical information, no? The Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or ICI, stepped in accounts that 𝗂 may have that 𝗂 may have pocketed 21 billion from those projects in flood control. Contracts.
May I ask, how much is the allotted budget for the 2025 national budget?
I feel like it's 100. It's the 100 million that they have stashed away.
How much percentage that he gets?
Like 21%. Yeah.
And you know what? It's supposed to be half of the educational budget. But the national budget for this flood control, it's more bigger than our educational.
Yeah, like
It's really sad for all the
it was
students.
in 𝗏𝗏𝗏's statement that they didn't allow the full 100 billion to be dispersed as the funding for the crowdfunding of the projects because like it's too big. Like the infrastructure budget is more larger than the education budget in the Philippines, which is why they dispersed 50 billion more first.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned this leather bag. Brown leather bag.
Oh yeah,
leather bag.
It actually made me think about a real life movie.
Yeah, it actually seems like a movie. Like, what does that leather bag contain? Does that contain
evidence
the money,
The evidence?
or the evidence,
Yeah.
the statements?
I mean, it's also crazy that, I mean, that money is meant to protect our cities from storms, to build durable infrastructures, but then instead the money got flooded into someone's bank account.
Yeah. Imagine that 21 billion, 21 billion, not billion but billion. That's a
Billion?
That is
Huge amount of
a huge sum of money, and that amount can even improve our healthcare, our
Educational system in the Philippines.
the educational system, the poverty that can elevate the poverty that the Filipinos are facing right now. But
21 peso.
21 peso rice. 20.
20 pesos.
Rice. Yeah, but that wasn't implemented, I think. Yeah.
That was a meat.
It was a ghost project also.
It was
The ICI, the Ombudsman, and all other bodies must do their jobs. But the people in the Philippines suffer the consequences of their inaction. We have the evidence, but we don't have the willpower from the institutions to prosecute. It is the classic Filipino formula talaga. Power plus money equals untouchable. Like, ang galing.
Also, no, the moment the powerful are accused, the system doesn't just bend. It prostrates itself. So it offers a red carpet for the legal teams. They can delay, appeal, and bury the truth under months or paper until the public outrage dies down.
Yeah,
So they have the power to do anything.
Yeah, they believe they have the power. They actually installed that system within our minds, stating that because they have money, just because they hold a high position, it equates to them being untouchable, being free of all charges, just because they have enough money to bail out for their sins, to not legally pay for their sins.
Like, where's justice now? I mean, like, they're the government, like, they're the one who controls, like, the law and something like that. Like,
Some of them even are the ones who makes the law.
but they're the one who breaks the law.
Yeah,
Like, it's crazy.
exactly.
And like, you know that the message is that the law is not rigid pillar of justice. It is a flexible currency that can be exchanged for immunity. The law is not for you. It is for sale.
And that brings us to the most painful contrast, the one that truly shows the hypocrisy of the entire mechanism. So, di ba, we've mentioned the government politicians, how they get off the book that easily because they have money and connections in that. So let us go to the other side of this spectrum. We have the case of a senior citizen. Have you heard of that recently viral video on TikTok?
I think I know this in real.
Have you watched that? Yeah, it's actually a senior citizen, si Lolo, si Tatay, na I think he was, I don't know if Was he detained?
Oh
Was
yeah,
he detained?
the one who look, I actually recall them now. He's the one who allegedly stole a single pack of mango snack, no, like kung 5 pesos like mango na ito ginabay sa stores. A mango pack from someone's household.
Yeah.
A pack of food, Alexa. No billion stolen, no project ghosted, and no public funds misused. Just a plea for survival against the crushing weight of hunger. Like,
And it's true, Ella, no? He was immediately handcuffed, paraded, and humiliated. And he was charged like he was a national threat.
Exactly.
Yes. So yeah, I truly believe the law is fast when the crime is petty and accused is vulnerable.
That's so true. I really love that.
and the mango was only cost 5 pesos.
If you can compare, for
If you compare the 100 billion, no?
It was, what's the mango? Like a big mango, like just the like the.
I think it's the size one.
Oh,
yeah.
the 5 pesos maybe we bought in the canteen, like something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
By that only, they charge him, they
5
handcuff him.
pesos over 100 billion. Like,
Yeah.
bakit mas magbigat pa yung 5 pesos na inano ni Tatan?
Yeah, truly a justice for sale, you know.
Pinasa ko siya sa basic or like it was like
I think he was jailed, no? Or
He was
I'm
bailed
not
out.
sure if he was detained ba.
He was bailed out.
I don't know if
I'm not quite sure.
yeah.
I feel like that's a similar case for during
I heard
2022.
that.
Yeah.
my heart breaks talaga, no? When I read the story. Hunger is not a crime, okay? But in this country, poverty often is. This dolo is punished like a threat. While the big thieves, the buaya in office, stroll through malls with bodyguards. Bakit grabe naman, they're protected. Like they're stolen wealth on their wrist. We need a justice, like justice system that protects the vulnerable, you know? And then not one that humiliates them.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's actually frustrating how the government politicians themselves are the ones that brought this situation upon us. They're the cause of the never-ending poverty cycle.
Yeah.
And then the ones in poverty that strives and fights to survive are the ones being detained instead of them.
You know what? It's just in our country, it's just like a cycle and cycle. It's been decade and decade, but it won't stop.
Because we never learned our lesson.
We never learned our lessons.
Exactly.
That's so
Yeah.
true. So vote wisely.
Yeah, it's actually partially the Filipino people's fault, no?
Yeah.
Because they go to the they ride the bandwagon kasi.
But I think some are just blinded, ma'am.
And because of poverty as well.
It's no, yeah.
Either that or because they're not aware of what the original background
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
exactly.
condition. They think na because someone
Help them or give them ayuda.
gave them ayuda,
Yeah.
or someone's father that had served the country is
Like,
Yeah.
You know what? The 5 peso that we get, the Filipino get during the election could not compare in their lives.
You know the vote buying.
Yeah,
they
cannot
have-
compare.
They
or
will get-
when they give ayuda during elections.
I'm like, don't be tempted with 500 pesos. Look now, we're stolen millions of
I think especially in the rural
areas,
yes,
yeah.
there are a lot of what do you call this, running for a position, they go to that areas, no, kaya they believe they
They get votes.
no, they have no access, like kulang yung access nila for information, so they can easily kan dali ra kayo nila, ang dali lang nila mauto for them, mauto nila ang mga people there because of the short connection with the media or anything.
And I believe we can connect this to the importance of media and information literacy when it comes to voting for our future leaders. Diba? It's as important. So, which is why we really need equal access to media so that we are able to know what the current news about our country is, and we remain updated for those. Pero imagine, no, the stark comparison of the 5 pesos, the 500 pesos ayuda, the 5 pesos worth of mango that tatay stole, and the 100 billion pesos. Like, imagine how huge of a sum is their difference. Like, parang ang layo ng 5 pesos sa 100 billion pesos.
Exactly.
But the question here is whether they broke the law or not. Isn't whether they broke the law or not. The question is how much can they afford of the law? Because they have money, right? And in our system, in our justice system, I feel like justice is parang nabibili na siya. Parang it's something that can be brought na by rich people. They just bail their way out, diba? And it's pretty unfair for those who fight fair for to live, for them to live, for them to survive. And it's actually a sad reality, no? But it's actually it's actually the situation that we need to face and we need to intervene right now, which is why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah. Have you heard this song that kayo pong nakaupo, subukan nyo namang tumayo?
Yeah,
It's really so dark. Yeah, so dark for every Filipinos. No, how about those politicians in our place during the typhoon in Uwan, in Tino?
Yeah.
Those time where politicians fled another country, then while our Filipinos were suffered, no,
And that's because of their ghost flood control projects.
Yeah, that's what
The money that should be in the books alone.
Yeah, but I'm actually relieved how most of us Gen Zs are actually speaking about it. They're voicing out in social media.
Exactly.
They use that song, Buuan. They draw cartoons about it. They write their narratives. And it's I actually felt proud how because most of us, diba, I think we're all aware that our titos, our parents are actually quite a little slightly blinded pa din. Because they're not that they believe too easily. What media, di ba nga, they can even manipulate media. So what they see on the television, well, not everything that you see is actually real. It is actually accurate.
Exactly.
And most of them just believe what they see on television, in social media, which is why I really think that
Like us Gen Z, we can do research
It's
and then we can
really-
dig deeply in the topic,
it's a proud moment for us that we can now voice out, defend, understand the situation, so that we might have a chance to end the corruption, the never-ending cycle of corruption in our country.
Actually, voicing out is a very big thing.
Yeah.
Like, voicing out is a very big thing. I mean, like, ang galing natin.
And you guys, you realize that this year, 2025, no, have you ever realized something that it is that our politicians are slowly being exposed? Everything, their dark secret, everything they have done dirty in our nation. It's really like this year, 2025, no, slowly exposing everything.
Yeah.
It's really so. Like in our generation, no, we have the voice bitaw to speak, and I am so proud for those people who speak the truth and who risk their life.
Yeah. The UP students, have you watched those protests?
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys known that most of the videos or the clips that were taken during the protest were taken down?
Oh,
They were mostly taken down, which is why it is not that very
I've known
scattered in the press and the media.
Yeah, I know
Because
that.
I think they've taken down some of the clips.
But I think I've seen some videos in my reels in sa Facebook.
Yeah.
But then like also like weeks after, like it's not a big deal na anymore.
Yeah, pero I'm happy that the flood control projects are still ongoing. Like the judges really try to not forget that issue. Like when
They're really voicing out. The voice is voicing.
yung nag-issue sila Nadine, Isa, and James Reid.
Yeah, many issues was
Never forget the flying troubles.
exactly, like they're distracting us with another issue.
Hindi na siya the same like before bitaw for 1 week lang na issue.
And then if there's another issue,
Hanggang walang
justice.
walang nakukulong, hindi tayo titigil.
Exactly.
Imagine the poor, how would they even have like enough money to have an attorney when they can't even pay for their food for them to eat. And yet, because the government still, I don't know whoever initiated the Public Attorney's Office initiative, but God bless them, because now that we have the normal people now has a chance to have an attorney that will defend their cases. But the problem there is, there are so many cases na kailangang i-handle ng attorneys na mag-result ng
More than 500.
Result trials involving the poor, particularly those facing minor offenses or those who cannot afford to bail, can last years, sometimes decades.
Because the process is quite long and they handle many cases at once.
It's crazy.
So yeah.
You know what? It is really so fascinating because the more that the poor, they become decades, no? And the rich people are they have the power that they can also just like 1 month, 1 day.
And have you heard of that? But I think it was a viral video then. It's a senior citizen also, which was detained because he had the same name as a criminal. As a criminal. They had the same name sa
Criminal.
Yeah, ayun na sa hinahanap ng police.
Is that one that's sentenced for 6 months?
Yeah, I think. It was just sold for 6 months because I believe Tatay only had an attorney from PAO, which is why it is processed very long. And then at the end, he was proven innocent, right? He wasn't the criminal judge.
And it's funny, no, na like they only arrested Tatay just because they have the same name. I mean, they didn't investigate truly, like they only
They don't even have the face of the criminal that they're looking for.
I think so. I read that Tatay showed her IDs, all the
Everything,
identity. Yes, all his documents.
That proves that it's not a criminal.
Yeah.
But they still he still doesn't believe him.
just because of his name.
But I believe it's because of, I don't know, maybe personal gain. Kasi they get promoted when they solve a case. The policeman from police officer to SPO1, SPO2.
You have that issue, and one police, if he's a blogger, and he get 1,000 pesos, and whoever could bring him a criminal that could about drugs addict, they could get that 1K. Actually, he was out of the detained on his position of the police.
Because of that.
Yeah, it's like you get paid for not doing your job. It's police job. It's police job.
It's their job, but they let someone do their job and gave cash in exchange.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, so they're responsible. Yeah. What do you expect? Our justice system is even true.
Yeah.
Ano na lang yung mga police officers natin, di ba? And it's really like from a movie, no? Like parang movie talaga siya.
Yeah.
Like how certain politicians that have enough money can bail themselves
This
out.
movie we just see in like in television.
And they just smile because they're not detained.
Yeah.
They just pay for their freedom.
Those movies na see in ano ba yung movies? Basta marami.
Yeah.
So like real life show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought just fun fiction or like a story, made up story, but it is now happening in our country.
Actually, this topic is really so dark. Dude, there's a killing. There are injustice system, but we could express it. We have the voice. This generation has a voice for Filipinos that don't have the authority to speak for everyone.
And it's actually, if you imagine it, for the politicians, time is like an absolute tool wherein they can gain more money, more resources, where they can use money,
Yeah.
they can plunder money.
That reminds me of the saying, poor people gets poorer while the rich gets richer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's actually happening in our country
Yeah,
right
exactly.
now. It's devastating. How many Filipino people, you know what, when I go to the, when we visit the market, like when I'm with my mother, I see the vendors that almost sleeps in their, in their puesto. Yeah. They sleep there so that they may have customers. They don't want to leave their puesto para they have their gain, they have their kita of the day.
Yes.
But then, imagine how hard those vendors work just for them to have a living. And in comparison to the corrupt government officials that just get off the hook. They don't even pay for their sins. They don't even have offenses, records under their name because they even pay the judges. They pay the very ones that are supposed are supposed to give justice. They're supposed to uplift our country.
And guess what? Those money is not their hard-earned money. It's like from our taxes. I mean, like they're using our hard-earned money. Like, naman.
Yes, and what has become of our country na? Like, parang pababa ng pababa, parang palugmok ng palugmok yung country natin.
Instead them, it's actually nabaliktad na siya, no? It's like, they should be serving us, but why does it feel like we're the one who's serving them by, like, we work hard to get this money, like, when they just like, cut our taxes, like, cut it for them, and then they use our money, like, we're the ones servicing them now, like, it's not like, wow, it's changing.
And they even collect more and more money. Like, diba, as I've said, time is a tool for them to collect more money. As time passes by, parang palaki ng palaki yung tax, palaki ng palaki yung nakukuha nila. Yeah.
You know what? Their children, politician children, are the nepo babies. They got bashed online like everywhere, no?
Exactly.
That every student in Filipinos know, they say that we should bully them for them to know what their parents have done.
Yeah.
And there was a time that one nepo baby wear a Gucci bag. No, and people say online that we have that.
We pay for that.
The one who bought that.
Yeah. And we borrowed that or something like that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
But we vote them to serve us, but why are you serving them?
And this is why the promise that justice is fair is nothing but political poetry. We are taught that the law treats us all equally, that the law knows no rich nor poor, but in reality, the law only recognizes the one who can pay the price of admission. The poor are left outside the courtroom, begging for a copy of the rules they've already been condemned by.
Yeah. Like, it's really actually saddening, no?
So when you see a politician positioning bail for millions of pesos and walking free, remember the face of the lolo arrested for a mango snack. Like, grabe. Remember the thousands of nameless Filipinos who will spend Christmas behind bars, awaiting a trial that may never happen quickly. That is the true reflection of our justice system. Like, grabe naman. And then while they go out freely enjoying their life. Wow.
Yeah. How can our country tolerate those politicians, no?
Yeah.
They are free to roam around freely. They can travel around the world with the money that they have taken from the Filipino taxpayers. When in contrast, those people that are yung iba nga, parang na-accuse lang sila, hindi naman proven na guilty.
Exactly.
Matagal lang yung due process, kaya nakadetain pa din sila. Pero they even celebrate their holidays, special holidays there. They're away from their family. And that actually kind of hurts, no? Imagine if one of your family member is one of those people na i-connect natin balik sa mga police na nahuli lang siya for promotion or to solve a case when that person isn't isn't guilty. So parang it's a cycle lagi. It's a system that the government officials taught us to believe, they instilled that to our mind na parang that's how justice works in our country. When reality, it rots. Justice in our country doesn't exist. It's unjust, di ba?
You notice that when the poor or the public jail, no, it's just like one room in a jail, but 50 people sleep in that room.
Yeah, when there's supposedly only 3 people per
and it's really so hot.
Yeah.
It is really dark.
They sleep like
If
sardines.
you can compare to the one that should be in that place, who are the corrupt politician, no, they have like aircon, they have foam
Yeah,
in their
they're
bed.
treated special just because
They're
they are
special
calling in
treatment.
shots.
They have their own bathroom.
Oh,
yeah.
Special treatment.
And it's, diba, even in jail, you can really see how unjust and unfair our system
Really?
is.
Yeah.
And if you can compare it to other countries, di ba parang wala ang laman yung mga selda nila. Their country is,
It's like 1 people per person.
Yeah. their country is safe and sound. Halos wala nga criminal doon.
Exactly.
Yung mga criminals nga doon, parang ang babait nga. Tapos here, in contrast, and on the contrary,
Also, there's
parang,
no
parang
crocodile doon.
there's so many people that are detained. Well, siguro half of them are guilty, but half of them are not, and they're forced to get cramped there in one cell, diba?
So no, they tell us justice wears blindfold, but here the blindfold has holes, and it picks to check the last names of the accused. We call this segment the blindfold that sees selective justice in action. So now let's talk about the most recent painful reminder. Just this year, the Sandigan Bayan, have you heard of it?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Acquitted Senator 𝗤𝙤𝙬𝙬 of plunder in connection with the Nucerus pork barrel scam. So billions of pesos vanished in the vernacular, napunta sa bulsa, but he walked free.
And
Yeah.
then what's the pork barrel scam?
I think it was a case wherein, I think it was a scam. They scam people for money, and then they plundered that money, then
For
they
their own
kept it to
use.
themselves. Yeah, and it's actually a strike of selective justice because he was convicted for a lesser charge. Was he even detained though? I'm not quite sure.
Did he build that again?
But the primary earth-shaking charge, which
We
is
use the basic math again. Power plus money equals untouchable.
yeah, the one that involves the highest crime against the nation was dismissed. And that, di ba? Imagine the offenses that he made, that he did.
A billion of pesos were vanished, but then
Yeah, he just walked away freely. He bailed himself out. And actually, it's the legal equivalent of being caught with a stolen car, but only being charged for jaywalking. So
Exactly.
instead of theft, you're only being charged for jaywalking. And actually, that's actually like, if you get caught jaywalking, that's only for a week. And parang katulad din sa kanila. I feel like parang they bailed out.
And what does conviction for a lesser crime mean for a powerful politician ba talaga? I mean, like, does it mean a temporary inconvenience? Or like, with money, position, and deep political connections, he can appeal. And then when he can delay, and what happens next? Can he, likely will return to office na, like, back to office, and hi, I'm here again, back to office na. Like, a
I'm
politician
serving you
jail cell.
again with your own money.
Yeah, I know, it's me again, all again. Like, a politician jail cell, like, Janilo is often it's like crazy. Like, but there's like an issue, okay, but then like after
after for a while. Hi guys, I'm back in studio.
Yeah.
See you again.
With the butt of 100 billion. Here.
Back again, here's my badge.
Here again, guys. Doing my thing again.
And you know what, talking about that, how can our system not, like settle the record straight? Like,
Exactly.
if there's a politician, for example, that has been, let's say, that has been proven guilty of a certain crime, or even if he's not proven guilty, but the judge knows that he is guilty, that specific government official should not be able to run now on a certain position in the government.
We can't serve the
Yes, if he had an issue related to corruption before, then why would the government let him or her?
After all, it's
And you guys have I just got this interesting story to tell to you. It is about as Filipino, OFW Filipino in other country. When they say Filipino, example in Vietnam, when they see a Filipino, they don't say, oh, Philippines, they say, oh, crocodile.
oh yeah.
It's really like,
Instead of
our
being
country.
proud to our country, like, because Philippines have very nice scenery, like we are known for the nice scenery,
Oceans.
nice people, like we have the best like
Tourism spots.
not that like
People welcome.
Hospitable
Yeah,
people.
we're very hospitable people. Instead of being proud by those like we would because of our government.
They
Like,
would
we
remember.
issue.
Yeah, because crocodiles are the metaphors of the corrupt politicians, diba? Mga buwaya nga.
Oy, crocodile.
Nag-build up na kayo sa sinabi ni Alexa na nga bakit na sa tawag balik o run ang
Okay.
Bakit nakakabalik?
Bakit nakakabalik sila sa pagtakbo ko? Kung meron naman sila na mga past cases, but then kasi yung natin is like very low ang standard dito. If Filipino ka lang, pwede ka na tumakbo. If 18 years old,
Like, parang open siya sa kahit sino.
Even
you
wala
have education or like
for law,
Kaya nga may nakita kong post, like parang meme siya. It's about how politicians are so easy, like the qualifications are low, like even everyone can run as long as you have money, like but potato corner employees requires a degree. Cashier.
College degree for a cashier.
Why do they not do that? Like, how would you expect a 7th year or not even a high school graduate to make laws, to process laws,
Exactly.
to handle such matters, diba?
Like, and also that position is not just a position. It's not just a small thing.
Yeah.
That position is very big to us, no? Like,
Yeah, you need to serve the nation.
yeah, like it's the nation, guys.
Ang taas ng requirements for cashier, hindi naman nila tinataas yung wages.
Yeah, exactly. But the president, na pwede lang kang, like, you can run without even a degree. You can still do it, yeah.
Is it hindi na kailangan degree?
As long as Filipino ka at 18.
Diwata,
Diwata.
Miran, pwede naman.
Bakit ay?
Pacquiao. I think he's not a high school graduate.
Pero eskwela siya balik. And eskwela siya for that specific na get para makakuha siya.
Okay, siya na ta.
Yeah, next game. No, you know what? I really love all your opinion. No, it erodes the faith of every Filipino. We are not losing faith because the laws are weak. We are losing faith because certain individuals are allowed to stand above them, using technicalities and influence like a shield. No, it's just really just like a shield.
And no, let's not forget the president. Former President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. She faced plunder, electoral fraud, and corruption cases. A long list that will drown any ordinary citizens, yet she walked away from many of them through the legal loopholes technicalities or well-timed political alliances.
Yeah, because I believe she served as the president for 10 years almost. Because she was the vice president of President Estrada during the term 2001, I think, 2001. So after the People Power Revolution, the President Estrada resigned, and then she
Turn over.
he turned over the presidential position to Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. So she served from 2001 up to 2004, and then in 2004 the election begins, and then she won as the president again. So she served up until 2010. So maybe that is why she had a lot of time to keep money, diba, for herself. Yeah, but that image is actually burned into our own consciousness. GMA is smiling in her wheelchair, leaving the hospital, effectively free from all of those long lists that you have mentioned. And then, years later, we see her smiling again, back in a position of power in Congress. Para bang walang nangyari, para bang hindi siya related, para bang
hindi siya nakulong.
na para bang walang fraud na ginawa, walang corruption na nangyari. Kasali pa rin siya sa Congress.
Very Gen Z.
Ang galing. Ang galing. She exited the hospital and even re-entered politics. And that,
How many ordinary Filipinos facing a merit theft charge get that kind of legal dexterity, no?
Diba, zero?
Yeah, zero. Like, we see the system break its own rules for the elite. Arroyo's case is the definitive evidence na yun. Like, that's, like, the justice in the Philippines doesn't move based on truth or fact. It moves based on influence and political gravity. It's very crazy, and it's also very sad to know as well. Like, grabe. Like, just like you said earlier, like, rule makers as rule breakers.
yeah.
Like,
It's quite ironic, right?
yeah, like, the rules adjust for them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a political, you also, as we said that earlier, but it's like them saying like, hi guys, I'm back again, stealing your money. Like, no, there should be a rule for that.
Yes, and this is why, in closing this segment, we must recognize the system for what it is, the justice system. The rich post bail before sundown, while the poor spend years in detention, even without a verdict, because di ba nga, they wait for the process to be finished, and the attorneys from PAO have so many cases to handle, so their cases most probably become the less handled one. So maybe it's actually hard for the attorneys then. And this is actually not justice, diba? This is, in our own words, a VIP membership system,
Golden.
where the price of truth is paid by those who can least afford it. So parang nag-a-abide lang yung justice to those who have money, to those who have power, to those who have positions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if this is how corruption works, and if this is who the system protects, what happens to the brave men and women who dare to expose the truth? You know, the journalists. I mean, the answer is deadly. This is silence truth. The deadly price of speaking out. Like, wow. Some people try to fight the system, right? Like journalists, legal researchers, community leaders, and they try to expose corruption. The miscellaneous budget, like where did it peak? Like the peak projects, ghost projects, and what do they get? A bullet? I mean, the example for this case is like, you know, the fatal journalist shooting. Do you know that that's really?
Yeah, I've known that. It is really recent, like 1 month ago.
Yeah, I think.
Let's talk all about that now. It's really interesting because how could one person who's speaking the truth just killed outside his house, no?
I think.
Outside his house.
No, it's not outside. He was going to his house, but then a motorcycle stopped his car, then just shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was riding a car,
Yeah,
and then
he was
a motorcycle stopped by and just shoot him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I believe his name is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, yeah. He was a former senior legal researcher at 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
During social media, through Teller, he was making posts about ghost irrigation projects that he claimed were incomplete or unusable.
Yes, and for that, on October 10, 2025, he was shot dead daw while he's on his way to his house.
Oh, that's very sad.
And that's, it's Cagayan de Oro, right?
Yeah,
That's Cagayan de Oro. That's actually near where I live. You also, right?
Yeah.
It's like speaking
That's where I
the
live.
dangerous na. Like being silent is safe. Like
Yes, it's getting really, really dangerous now. So I actually think that most of the journalists right now are anxious na. They're forced to not speak about the truth because they're afraid of their lives
I
being taken.
disagree because we can see Cara David. She's a journalist.
Yeah. There's also Cara David.
yeah,
There are still a lot of journalists
Yeah,
who's willing to
exactly.
speak the truth and who is willing to expose the truth.
Yeah.
Number one
Yeah.
is that Jessica
Even-
Casoho.
Yeah,
Even
I
if
Jessica Casoho.
Young people, corrupt politician, he got that voice.
they're so brave to
everyone.
speak out. Like they're not afraid. Like grabe.
What episode is that wherein he interviewed like a big, like some of the big positions that exposed, and then the mayor mentioned na parang alam niya na by participating in Jessica So's documentary, his life is at risk.
Oh,
But
that
he
is
didn't. Yeah, but he didn't care because he wanted to speak about the truth. And I think those journalists that are famous mangkod, parang they have protection
Oh, yeah.
na amongst themselves. So those journalists na parang hindi naman masyadong well-known, parang yun yung tinatarget nila.
Target.
I believe this is not the first case man, di ba?
Oh,
Madaming case naman.
In the
Yeah.
Misamis Occidental,
Yeah.
that one radio broadcaster, while on live on a Facebook,
Oh,
that
so
shot.
I about that.
yeah, I thought that they thought that that's it's just like a listener trying to listen about the broadcast, the innovation.
So the suspect was pretending to be a listener in the broadcast station.
The Johnny Walker accident, the journalist.
Yeah,
that is true.
Johnny Walker, it's Johnny Walker.
No, all of this,
And why did the suspect shot him?
I think it's because he was trying to expose
Something?
about the government.
About
Is
the
that a
government
solved
also.
case? Solved case?
I think no.
I think most of these cases are unsolved. They just remain a mystery, a cold case. They ignore that case because I believe the police or the investigators are aware na maybe the politicians are the ones that ordered their execution. Kaya wala silang ginagawa. Pero nakakatakot
Real life
lang.
movie talaga.
Imagine how their families must have felt, di ba? Justice wasn't served and their loved ones were journalists at that, were frontliners in speaking the truth, and their justice wasn't served.
So you
Just how unfair our system could get.
You know what I realize now? I mean, like, is they're not just stealing; they're already committing crimes, like killing. And then
Yeah.
also,
Murder.
does that mean that our government is not like serving us? They're also like criminals. Like we have criminals.
And they don't get punished for that.
Exactly. It's very.
That's the
like,
most devastating part.
so our official government officials are criminals. Like it's scary. Now it's kind of giving me chills.
It is really true. And you know that those two journalists, the motive is screaming at us as Filipinos because they are silenced. The message is very clear. Truth is dangerous when the powerful feel threatened. Up to today, no mastermind is behind bars. Only the chilling, absolute silence of an unresolved case na para bang ayaw nilang malaman ng mga tao ang masamang gawin nila. Basta lang they can benefit from it.
Yeah,
It's
so
really
they
true.
try to silence the people that expose their true colors. Para they can continue to garner money from taxpayers,
It is
diba?
true.
Galing.
did you mention about a name of one or Johnny Walker Humalon?
Oh, that's
You
so
met-
yes,
for you.
it
I
was a-
forgot. I just remember who Johnny Walker. Pero I heard the story before.
So, in this case, let's delve deeper about what really happened on that time. So, Johnny Walker, he's well-known radio broadcaster in Misamis Occidental. He is a Code 1, or he's really known by everyone
Oh
as Johnny
yeah,
Walker.
I think my lola, listen to it, yeah.
Yes,
Very
because
familiar.
walang filter yung baba niya.
Yeah.
Sinasabi talaga niya yung anong totoo, walang filter. That is really my
It's very strong.
yeah, as a journalist. No, way back in 2023, in Misamis Occidental, the gunman entered his radio station pretending to be a listener for an on-air radio broadcast. It was on-air request. And moments later, shot to Malon point blank, the ultimate violation. The attack was caught on the live stream. His death, a broadcast of the cause of truth. The list is long. Maria Vilma Rodriguez, Fernando Solihon, Romeo Olea, all vocal, all murdered.
Are those journalists?
Are there
Yes,
journalists?
everyone is journalists that I have mentioned earlier.
So the names you have mentioned are journalists that have been executed.
they have been
And
murdered.
all of their cases are unresolved.
Yes.
Imagine how messed up our system is. All of the
They're not
journalists,
just thieves. They're
yeah,
killers.
they're definitely killers. And it's actually scary. Because how can someone do that? And even the press, even the judiciary branch of our country ignores that fact.
No.
Yeah, and they're journalists, but yeah, they hold a big role in our country.
Exactly.
And without them, we really can't know the truth bit of it.
Yeah.
We
If
got
we don't
our
fight to tell the truth, we won't even know.
we got our sources from them, our
Yeah.
knowledge about these corrupt politicians from them.
So instead of getting that reward, and that reward, they are being shot. They are held funerals,
Exactly.
unresolved cases.
I mean, and yet the corrupt officials they try to expose, they're walking free. Campaigning, smiling on posters, and hosting press conference pa. Grabe.
Di parang walang nangyaring.
So if the system allows its truth tellers, the journalists, to be killed with impunity, but doesn't do anything about corruption and let it thrive, then parang papatanong tayo, ano ba talaga yung pinaprotektahan ng sistema? What is our justice system even protecting? It is protecting the crime, not the victim. They're trying to cover the crimes that the government politicians are making just because they have money. They're being silenced by money. Pinabaliktad na talaga tayo ng mundo. Like, so very,
And that's a
twisted.
huge problem. Yeah, it's actually twisted.
Call the Philippine justice system a failure. It is, in fact, an absolute engineered success, but only for the 1%. It is the most sophisticated and efficient mechanism in the world for protecting the rich, legitimizing their crimes, and crushing the common massa, our massa. This is not accidental. This is by design. The final charge. But this design is not cast in steel. It is written on paper. And we, the people, hold the pen. Our collective power is the only force that can truly rip off that blindfold and expose the hypocrisy it conceals. We cannot afford to be complacent anymore. We've had enough. Complacency is not peace. It is consent to our own perpetual oppression. Our silence is their shield, so we must not stay silent. It only allows the powerful to treat the halls of Congress as a bank and the courts as their private arbitration firm.
And I must say, we must demand a judiciary that is truly independent, not political independent.
We must demand an accountability that is absolute, not optional.
We must ensure that the silence imposed by the gun is shattered by the sustained, collective voice of the nation.
In a country where justice is a commodity, where the law knows your name only if your hands are empty, may we be a generation brave enough to stop buying the lies and finally, fiercely demand the truth. The scales are waiting. Until next time, bye!